In ViewDidLoad, we now can change code to be added to be self.handleAppRefresh and pass in the task. This is the function we created earlier. In the background task framework, you also get access to a processing task. This is primarily used for intensive tasks such as training an ML model or cleaning a database. In this episode, we're going to explore scheduling a processing task and how this could work for you in your iOS app. In our processing task function here, we're going to add self.database cleanup and pass in the task. You are going to get an error here because database cleanup does not yet exist. Like our first implementation, this is going to do exactly the same. It registers the processing task. You are also going to create another function called schedule database clean, which is the same logic as the first one. Below schedule app refresh, we're going to create a new private function called schedule database clean. We're going to have a do catch with a let request equals bg, and this time processing task request, and pass in the identifier for the processing request. The request dot requires external power is true, and the request requires network connectivity equals true. Then we're going to try bg task scheduler dot shared dot submit with the request above, and then finally we're going to catch and print error if we have one. The difference here is that we get access to additional parameters like requires external power and requires network connectivity. Because this is a more intensive background task, we can let the framework know that this is going to require network or external power. You have this set to true because we're going to do some database cleanup. And then finally, below the handle app refresh, we're going to go ahead and create a new function. Private function database cleanup, and again we're going to access the bg task, and in here we're just going to add a comment for the db cleanup. In this course we're not going to go ahead and add a database, but this is a real clear example of how to use a background processing task. For the first time in this course, let's go ahead and run the project. Congratulations! You've successfully launched the app using the background tasks framework. Now, background tasks can only run on real devices, and therefore a simulator won't detect background tasks and nothing will happen. Go ahead and plug in a real device. Go ahead and build and run the project. You are probably wondering why nothing is happening, even after 3,600 seconds. Apple have clearly thought about testing background tasks, but it's not all that straightforward. Apple have provided two private functions that we can execute in the debugger. Pause the iOS application running, and then we're going to execute the following in the debugger. E-L Object-C void bg task scheduler shared scheduler underscore simulate launch for task with identifier, and then com.railwinderlink dot tasks.fetch. Go ahead and hit the return key. As you can see, this background task is now executing. Congratulations! You've integrated with the background tasks framework and you have successfully executed your first background task.